morning or afternoon, depending on what side of the pond you're on, and welcome to an extra special interview where Across the Pitch and Ghana Football News are combining to interview Accrington Stanley's standout loanee, Jerome Apaku, who has recently announced that he's going to be staying with Accrington throughout the entire rest of the season. So welcome to the show, Jerome.
Hi. You right?
And we also have Subaru from Ghana Football News on the line with us today as well. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Subaru?
Good evening, Phil and Jerome. It's a pleasure joining you guys on this show.
Yes, absolutely. And now, Jerome, you came over to Accrington on loan from Fulham at the beginning of the season. So my understanding is that that you're from London originally, and kind of came up through the Fulham Academy. So was it? What are kind of some of the differences between living in London and living in Lancashire? I think that's something that a lot of our listeners would be interested to hear about.
Yeah, well, I'm a London boy, so in London is very busy, loads of towns, shops, like just loads of different things going on. And when you come up to up here, it's very quiet. I think it's easier to focus up here. Like it's just basically just football, really. So yeah, there's a big difference, really. But I'm adjusted now, so I'm enjoying it. I'm used to it now.
Well, that's an interesting thing that you said there, is that you get more time to concentrate on football. I guess there's not any big concerts coming to town or anything like that, so you can just kind of ply your craft. And now, you, like I said earlier, you did just sign on to stay with Accrington for the rest of the season, which is something that we were extremely excited to hear. So I assume that things are going well and you're enjoying your time in Accrington so far.
Yeah, no, I think it's really be going better. I'm getting loads of game time. The gaffer and the team's welcome me. I really support the family there. We're playing some good football. We went on a 7-game unbeaten streak recently. So yeah, now the team's doing well. I'm really enjoying my football out here. It's good.
Yeah, that 7-game unbeaten run, it started with that big win in Bolton, and then you guys kind of rolled on from there. Now, Subaru, I know you had a question for Jerome about what position that he likes to play the best. Why don't you ask that one here now?
Yeah, good evening, Joe. This is Abdullah Suburi speaking from Ghana, at GhanaFootballNews.com. I would like to find out, area you are a centre back by trade, but being with Accrington, you've been playing from the left side of defense. What's your favorite position? Which one do you prefer most, centre back or being at the left side of defense?
I think that one's a bit of a hard one now, because before I came to Accrington, I was really just interested in playing centre back, like because I felt that was my best position. But now that I'm here and I've been playing left back a lot, I'm enjoying it. But obviously, coming up through the ranks in Fulham, I played in loads of different positions, so it's not quite new to me to play the left side of the defence. So if I had to pick a favourite, actually, that's a very hard one. I don't think I can pick one. I'll play wherever the manager wants me to play and just do my best in that position. But I am enjoying it right now, yeah.
Well, I think that it really shows what a versatile player that you are, because at center back, obviously your height helps you out a lot. You can go in there and win some challenges and things like that. But I've really enjoyed seeing you play on the outside, because you're really good with the long balls. And I noticed that you've kind of been racking up some assists here this season. Are assists something that has traditionally been part of your game, or is that something that's more since you moved to the left side and started getting some of those long balls and things like that out there?
Yeah, the assists have really come on with getting down the pitch on the left side, because I think obviously when you're central, when you're playing centre back, you don't really get up that much. So playing on the left side, it can really bring out more of my attacking attributes. So yeah, I'm just picking up some assists. So yeah, man, that's a positive, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also had in the penalty shootout against Fleetwood, you had a goal in that looked real nice, and you've had some near misses. I know you've hit the woodwork a couple of times, and I know that your first goal is just around the corner. Have you thought about at all how you're going to celebrate that first goal once you put it in?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be scenes, man. I'm getting closer. Yeah, I'm actually getting closer. But yeah, now when it goes in, we'll see what celebration I come up with at the time. Yeah.
We're really going to be looking forward to it because, ever since you came over to the club, it was about 1 month into the season. I think it was maybe the 6th or the 7th game, and then you've just really been a stalwart there since. One of the things that I notice is that you handle most of the throw-ins, and obviously, again, with your height, that gives you an advantage for that. Has that been something that's always been a big part of your game?
No, not really. I think being Accrington brought out some attributes that I didn't really take advantage of and like use to my advantage as much as when I was at Fulham. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John Coleman, he's a guy that really knows how to get the best out of every guy on the squad, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He's the guy who really supported me and leaving me up. He's really helped me bring out the best in my ability. Yeah, it's true.
Now, Subaru, I know that you had a couple of questions for Jerome regarding Ghana. Did you want to go ahead and ask him those here now?
First of all, I want to find out, Jerome. First, I wanted to find out whether he has ever been to Ghana before.
No, I've never been to Ghana. But I'll go sometime, probably next year, this year, maybe. Hopefully, yeah.
Okay. Wanted to find out again, will you ever take an invitation to play for any of the national teams in Ghana if you are invited?
Yeah, that's something I'm open to be honest. Yeah, to play for Ghana national team one day. Yeah, I've never played for any national at national level. Yeah, I've only been playing for my clubs. Yeah.
So you still have full international eligibility then?
Yeah.
Okay. You haven't been so common on social media. Can you tell me the reason or a reason why you haven't been so much on social media?
Yeah, I don't really get into the social media stuff so much, but I think it's something that people around me have showed me that like the importance of it. So I'm gonna start. Probably I may get Twitter. I'm gonna start getting into that. But yeah, I've just been focused on football really. So, but yeah.
Especially Accrington Stanley has Andy Holt and the whole club out there. So we'd be real excited to see you out there too.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you like to stay at Stanley Accrington beyond this season?
Pardon, what was that?
So are you looking at going back to Fulham at the end of the season? Are you still going to be under contract with them, or are you going to be exploring your options when this season ends?
Oh yeah, I'm still under contract at Fulham for next season. So the plan is to return there. And just go from there from pre-season really for next season. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this year you're going to get a lot of good playing time in League One, and then hopefully next year that'll get you into the Fulham squad at the championship. And of course, Fulham was just in the Premier League as recently as last year. So I mean, you get into that Fulham side, and then you could be looking at the Premier League within the next year or two, I would say.
Yeah, that's really the plan, man. Fulham's doing well, so yeah, that's just a positive. So hopefully they can get promotion, and everything's going good.
Yeah, I think that it's great that you're getting so much playing time here in Accrington because that's going to give you the ability to have some game film and stuff like that to show the coaches out there and whatnot. And so let me ask you this: what do you think is the ceiling for Accrington this season as a club? Do you think top 10 in the table? Do you think that
Mm.
maybe making the top six and getting into the playoffs? What do you think this club's ceiling is for this year?
Well, I think when we get going, like we can beat anyone in the league. Like we've shown that as when we beat Ipswich top of the league 2-0. We've battled with the top teams. So I think that for us, it's just about not getting ahead of ourselves. It's just about winning the games we can and seeing where it takes us. And hopefully that just takes us higher and higher up in the league. If eventually that gets to the top six, the playoffs battle, then that's where it's going to take us. But it's just about winning all the games we can, really. So, yeah,
Just
so
one
yeah,
game at a time.
yeah, literally one game at a time and just see where it takes us.
Well, like you said, I mean, you've showed that you could play with anybody in the league. You've already beaten Ipswich. You've beaten Fleetwood recently at the EFL Trophy. I guess that's something else I should talk about is because you guys are only 2 games away from the final. Do you think that the EFL Trophy and that trip to Wembley is something that you guys are looking at? I know Salford is your next game there.
Yeah, we're really positive about that cup there. I think we can actually get to Wembley. Like that's the plan. Just keep winning the games, and obviously Salford away now. We're heading into that positive. So yeah, just like the league, let's just keep winning and see where it takes us. Hopefully to Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other 7 teams that are left, of course, you have Portsmouth, who you've already beaten in League One, and then all the rest of the sides are either League Two or the Leicester under 21 side. So, yeah, I would actually have to say at this point, you guys might be second favorite Portsmouth to win that thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's a cup that to get to Wembley. That'll just be a great experience, really, innit, for the team and for the club, really. So yeah, just stay positive and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, especially since Accrington is one of only 2 league clubs that have never played at Wembley before, so it certainly would be a historic moment all around. And I think
Yeah.
something like if we did get an Accrington Portsmouth matchup, or the other team I see it there is Newport County. They're one of those teams that always seems to do real well in the cup competition. So I'd love to see
Yeah.
an Accrington versus Newport, and I know Newport's even got Paul Jamond, who used to play in Accrington. So there's a little bit of a
Oh,
connection there too.
okay. Yeah. That'll be a great that'll be a great fixture, really, for the team, the crowds, everyone involved in football, really, to make history. Yeah.
Um, I want to find out whether over there he do follow the Ghana senior national team or any of the youth teams in Ghana.
No, I don't really know much about the football going on in Ghana, but something I like to know more about. To be honest, yeah.
How much of a time do you take to glance through the websites or to see what is over there?
I've come across the Accrington GH on Twitter. I keep up to date with that, and I see the support I'm getting from a couple people in Ghana. So yeah, that's all really I've seen from Ghana so far. But yeah, I'm really grateful for that support I'm getting from back home, really from Ghana. Yeah.
That's you, Subaru.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm grateful, man. Thank you for that, for the love and support you've been showing me, bro, man. It's brilliant.
Have you been following or seen any other Ghana football news?
Yeah, I've seen Ghana football news, to be honest. Yeah, I've seen that. Mhm.
Yeah, and that's absolutely me as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with Ghana football news, let me actually, Jerome, let me give you a little bit of a background here. So I personally, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona myself, and about 2 years ago, myself and a couple of my other co-hosts over here in Phoenix, we started the Across the Pitch podcast, which was basically about the lower levels of English football, like League One, League Two, even the conference and things like that for listeners in America. And then Accrington Stanley is our favorite team, so we've always been covering Accrington,
Yeah.
and then Subaru. I met him here about 6 or 8 months ago, and he's been covering football in Ghana, both the Ghana Premier League and players from Ghana around the world. And over here in Phoenix, we actually have Solomon Asante, who's a captain over here and used to play in the Ghana Premier League. So that was kind of how we got talking, and then since then we've started a North American Accrington Stanley supporters club over here in the U.S. and Canada, and then and now Subaru is get the Ghana or the Accrington GH or the Ghana supporters club. It's getting started, so really growing the brand worldwide here is what we're trying to help you guys do.
Yeah, I've seen across the pitch. I've come across all the pages you've talked about, really, and yeah, I'm really grateful for the support and the love I've been getting from on them pages. Yeah, and I'm really supportive of the sites, and I see the vision, man, and I just hope it keeps pushing, really.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us here today and being able to talk about the team. And is this the first interview you've done like this since you came over to Stanley?
Well, I've done a couple of interviews, but this is like the first like touching America and Ghana. Yeah, this is the first international one, I guess.
So this is the first international interview. So we're bringing your voice out to the whole world here today.
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah.
What games on the schedule that you have coming up that you're kind of looking forward to? Are there any teams out there where you kind of look at the schedule and say, I'm really looking forward to playing those guys, or maybe a player that you're looking to play against? I know, when you get to play against a guy like James Norwood in Ipswich or somebody like that's a little bit of an extra challenge for you there.
Not too much on like the challenge side, but I'm interested to see the team. I think we got Lincoln in February. I got a teammate that used to play for Fulham with me, Teo Eden. He just signed there, so it would be nice to see a friend on the pitch and just have a battle against him instead of playing with him. So I'm waiting for that one.
Yeah, Lincoln was the team that Stanley opened the season against, and that was a little bit of a rough game for Stanley. But then, of course, the Cowley brothers were managing in Lincoln for a few years, and now they've gone on to Huddersfield, and Lincoln has kind of struggled a little bit since the Cowleys left, but yeah, that should be a really great matchup, and that's actually one of the games I'm looking forward to, because I want to see you guys get revenge for that season open.
Yeah, that'll be great, man. That'll be great to get some revenge. Yeah.
Just a couple of questions more. I want to find out about your toughest opponent you faced since playing in the League Two league with Accrington.
Oh, my toughest opponent. Oh boy, I think I can't. I don't know if I can really answer that one. I don't really know exactly who I was matched up against in certain games.
Yeah.
Let me think. No, probably so far I've come against the Blackpool winger. What's his name? I don't know his name, but there was a guy in Blackpool that was quite decent. Yeah, that was probably my biggest test so far.
Another guy that always seems to give Accrington a trouble is a guy that actually used to play for Accrington that you saw last week, Caden Jackson. He really seems to be on a tear this year. Were you impressed by seeing him last week? I mean, I know he really caused you guys some trouble.
Yeah, no, he's a good player, really. I think that game, Ipswich was better than us that day. So, yeah, all their players really was just at it more than us that day. Yeah, but I see he's been doing well for that team. Yeah, it was interesting. It was a good match to see him. Yeah.
Hey, what to find out your football idol growing up?
Yeah, my football idol being Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, I've just really looked up to him from a young age, seeing him come from the ranks. Then he came to Tottenham, and then now he's at Madrid. But yeah, Gareth Bale, that's been my football idol for a long time.
Who was your team growing up? Was it Fulham or was one of the other London teams? Or
no, surprisingly, it was Manchester United.
Oh, well, you're just right up the road from Old Trafford now.
yeah. I'm trying to I can sort out some tickets to go to Old Trafford for my first time. So yeah, that'll be a good experience, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a legendary place to go to. And yeah, I can imagine, growing up, you saw some of the best that United had to offer. That was when they were winning every year.
Yeah.
So you said that next season you're planning on returning back to Fulham, most likely. With Fulham, do you see yourself moving back to the center back, or do you see yourself maybe staying on the outside?
Oh, that's a good question. As now that I'm just really adapting to being in and starting left back, I think it's just about wherever the manager will want me to play, me just getting back in that zone of, if I'm a centre back, my positioning, or if I'm a left back, just getting my mind around each position. So wherever really the gaffer will play me, I'll happily play there. Yeah.
Well, I know the coaches know a lot more than I do, but I'll say that you definitely look like a natural at the left back, and I especially like on the outside you've got in Accrington you've got Callum Johnson is the right back, and you and him really seem to work really well together. And then, of course, on the in the inside, you've got Sykes and Hughes, and you guys really, you have a nice, strong back four there. Do you feel like it's important for a team to have the same consistent back four every week, like you guys have had in Accrington recently? To me, I think that's really a key, is if you can have the same back four every week and kind of work out from there, that makes for a successful team on the defensive end, at least usually.
Yeah, no, I think it's important because the more games you play with each other, you learn more about like each player next to you, their strengths and weaknesses, so you can just help someone out, dig them out if they're in trouble. So yeah, you really build relationships when it's like that. But it is interesting because we've got decent players on the bench too that's fighting for their position. They're quality players. So yeah, just the whole squad in general, we're really gelling together, and yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest difference to me between Accrington this year and Accrington in previous years is last year's squad, once you got past the starting 11, the bench didn't quite have the depth, but you guys are really starting to be able to bring in some impact players off the bench, or have somebody step in if there's an injury. Now, of course, you had a real big injury that it was quite unfortunate recently when Sean McConville went out for the season. But at least you guys do still have Joe Pritchard to bring in that plays that position, and I think that in previous years that the club may not have had that depth, where if McConville gone down, they wouldn't have had a guy like Pritchard to put in.
Yeah, it was a big blow losing Sean, but yeah, as you've seen, Pritchard, he stepped up and he's doing well really, and he's a great player. So yeah, it's good to have that strength in the team, knowing that if someone was to get injured, then you know that the next player is ready to just grab the shirt and show the gaffer and the fans what they can do really. Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes things easier when you do have that depth, because ultimately injuries are going to happen, and like you said, there's no way to replace a guy like Sean, because I mean that's a guy with over 300 caps for the club. So I mean, he's definitely a guy that. We're definitely wishing you the best, and hope to see you back on the pitch next season, Sean, because
Yeah.
he's just meant so much to Accrington Stanley these recent years. But
Yeah. He's got a lot of the club, to be honest. Yeah, he's a great player, man.
yeah, he really. Subaru, what else do you have over there?
The position, or let me just say, Accrington haven't been doing badly. Uh, just as Phil said, had a couple of unbeaten run before losing over the weekend to this pitch. Not bad, even only the scoreline wasn't encouraging. From now till the end of the season, where do we see Accrington ending?
Well, for us, it's just about the next game coming, so, and obviously just winning the game. So I'll just see us in the top half of the table, 100%, man. There's no reason why we shouldn't be up there. Like we've shown people that how we can play and how we do against the teams up there. So yeah, just the top half and just keep moving up. That's the goal.
You said growing up, Manchester United used to be a team you support or you cherish most. Moving away from it, that Accrington or Fulham, which chance will you embrace again?
What do you mean? Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm saying you said Manchester United has been your club growing up.
Yeah.
But you ended up with in a Fulham academy, now playing for Accrington on loan. I'm saying moving or heading into the future, aside Manchester United, or is it still a dream team to play for one day?
Oh yeah. It's a big club with loads of history, but I think before that, I've still got to like establish myself in the club I'm at now, like my home club Fulham, because I don't think I've done that yet. So obviously heading back for next season, that's my main target, like just to try it through and show the gaffer what I can offer the team in Fulham. So yeah.
In my last question, running what you've seen Accrington GH, you've seen a couple of stories from Ghana Football News concern or on you. My last question, and we are growing a fan base here, which is I think Phil will attest to, is getting a bit stronger here. What are the last ways for the Ghanaian fans that are here supporting you?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with the support and the love I've been getting shown from Ghana. Just keep supporting me. I see everything you're doing, and I really appreciate it, especially from you, Subaru, man. Like, just thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, I also
Thank you
wanted to.
very much, Joe.
I was gonna say I also wanted to thank you for taking a look at across the pitch. It really means a lot to us over here to hear that you're seeing what we're doing and that you're enjoying it over here. And then but before we did wrap up, we did have a couple of reader questions that folks sent in for you, and these ones are not quite about football, a little bit more lighthearted. But one of your biggest fans over in Canada is Tony Robinson, and you probably met Tony when he came over to visit Accrington earlier this year, and he wanted me to ask you if you prefer mushy peas or regular peas with your meat pies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with mushy peas.
Mushy peas. So you're in the true Lancashire spirit now, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. And then we had one other reader question here. I'm just pulling it up. It's from Alex Crook. And he wanted me to ask Porsche, Ferrari, or Lamborghini, which one are you going to buy first when you get your first big contract?
Yeah, God willing, yeah, Lamborghini 100%.
Lamborghini, yeah, I think that's where I would go with too. But then the way that you're playing, we think you might end up with all three of them one day.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, well, we really appreciate your time here, and I don't want to take too much more of it, but I do want to just ask you real quick, kind of the similar question to what Subaru asked you, is just if you had any message that you wanted to give to the Accrington supporters over here in the U.S. and Canada.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for the support and thanks for the love. Like everything's being noticed. Everything's being noticed, and I really appreciate it. And just stay behind us, Stanley. Stay behind Accrington, really, man. We're doing well. So yeah, man. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Well, we love supporting Accrington Stanley, and there's just something about the team that has a little bit different feeling than just about every player that we've had on says that when you play for Accrington Stanley, it's almost more like a family than a business. Have you felt it to be that way?
Yeah, 100%. I've said that in one of my past interviews. Like, it's a family club, man. It's just you just feel at home, and it's just welcoming. So yeah, 100%.
All right. And did you have anything that we didn't ask you about that you wanted to talk about?
No, not really. Yeah, no, everything's been covered, man. Yeah, I think we've talked about pretty much everything. So yeah, that's really it.
Well, hopefully we can do it again sometime. Maybe at the end of the season, we'll chat with you again, or maybe talk with you if you guys end up making that trip to Wembley for the Checkatrade Trophy, or actually the Leasing.com Trophy. They change that every year, but and also, of course, we wanted to give a big thanks to Peter Latham who set this up, and Peter, of course, is the president of the Accrington Stanley Official Supporters Club. So thank you again, Peter, for setting this up and getting us and Jerome together to talk today.
Shout out to Peter, man.
Yeah, he's one of a kind, and the club could not be more lucky than to have a guy like Peter, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's a great guy too. Yeah.
Did you have anything else, Subaru?
Just to say thank you to Peter and Jerome for having time out of their busy schedule to speak with us. We are grateful for the opportunity.
Well, thank you again, Jerome, and thank you to everybody who is listening, with whether you're in England, Ghana, the U.S., or anywhere in the world. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing Jerome in the Accrington Red for the rest of the season, and like you said, on Stanley on.
Oh, Sandy, yeah. Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, been a pleasure. Thank you, Jerome, and good luck on Saturday.
Oh yeah, thank you, and hopefully the division it keeps growing, man. Thank you.